Good morning. If you want to see how we built this nice little pine end table, stained it white, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Well, welcome to Memphis Monday 243, the 35th week of our 5th year. Today we're going to be building a rustic pine end table. My wife's kind of into this rustic look. I don't really like it much, but it's what she wants. I think we're going to try to stain it white, and you've already seen it in the intro, and I haven't, so you're one up on me. But we're not going to get anything done unless we knock off the chit-chat and get to work. The beauty of this project is that, you know, it's you can see it's not a very big table, and I think we can show a lot of it and still not make the video real long. What I'm doing here is putting the trim on the top. So we're building our table jig. These little blocks of wood stand in for the legs. All you do is you figure out where you want the legs to sit. And you see how easy this is. So the last part of the table jig is the spacer. When you put your frame in, you don't want your frame to come all the way out to the edge of the legs. So on your table jig, put this little spacer in there. And just staple it a couple of times. All it does is just take up room. Then these frame pieces simply fit down in the jig. They go right like that. Now we need to put the corner blocks in. First we've got to make the corner blocks. Let me show you how we do that. Cutting these corner blocks, and there's a safety issue involved. You know, these things are real small, and they're up on the side, and you really need to clamp them close to the side. Now, I guess you could use just a clamp or something, but surely you don't want to hold this thing with your hand and try to cut it, because your hand will be right next to the blade. And what happens is when these things come through sometimes, there'll be small pieces fly off or the saw will screw up. But anyway, I've come up with a jig, and all you do is slide it into that notch right there, and you can see there's a little 45-degree there. And then when I come down with the saw, I can keep my hand completely away from the action. Let's try it. And then my blocks go right in there, and they're screwed in this way. And then there's a hanger bolt that goes to the center into my leg. Next thing I have to do is drill a hole down through the center. Now, this is a pretty simple operation. The only thing you're worried about is that hole has to be exactly centered in this block. Otherwise, this, it's called a hanger bolt that the legs will be attached with, won't fit. You know, if the alignment's not right. So you got to be real careful drilling this hole. Yeah, you can make the hole real big, but that's kind of amateur. As I just said, we have to put these corner blocks in, and these corner blocks require angled holes into these 45 degree cuts. So they're perpendicular to this surface, and they go through like that and then go into the frame. Let me show you how we build those holes. In order to make those holes look kind of professional, I guess you could just take a drill and, you know, and put something through there. I make a jig that the block fits down into, and then just drill holes straight through the jig. But these are some of my old corner block jigs, and none of them are the right size. We're gonna have to build a new one. Now this is so easy you feel like you're cheating. All I'm gonna do is put a 45 degree cut at 90 degrees right through this board. Now this is a short piece of wood, so I have clamped, so when I cut it, my hand won't be anywhere near it. So all I have here, this is the board, the piece of wood we cut at a 45. We're just going to spread it apart where our corner block fit right in there like that. And then we'll attach these two sides to the base. You can also see why I have so many of them, because they're real easy to make and they're reusable. And here I'm putting the sides on. Hoping it'll split this wood. I don't normally show screw-ups, but this is kind of funny. This didn't work because this piece right here isn't thick enough. So what I'm going to do is put another piece on top and try that. I added the second piece. What this does is, with that 45 degree angle, it moves those pilot holes further towards the center. Let's give this thing a try. Okay, now those holes are positioned where the screw will come out the side perpendicular to this edge here. Now we're going to taper the legs. This is the leg stock, and to taper the legs we just put it in this tapering jig. And all a tapering jig is a square piece of wood with an angled board, and all of them, you can adjust them so that you can put the correct taper on them. And after you're done, you get a tapered leg like this. Normally, legs are only tapered on the two sides, and the two untapered sides go to the outside. So these two tapers are on the inside, and the no tapers on the outside. So just put it in the tapering jig, and I'm using dogs here to hold it down, but some of them you don't even need to do that. Let's give it a try. It's a two-part operation. I'll show you the first part, and then we'll flip it and do the other part. Okay, now, taking off this wedge here. Now I want to put that wedge right back on here when I do the other side. So I'll undog it. I just keep that wedge right up there so I don't mess it up. Keep that wedge right there. Just flip it up and put that wedge on the bottom. Line the wedge up down here on the end. It's not going to line up just perfect down here, but line it up on the end. Line it up on this end down here and re-dog it. I got you reset up here because when you, okay, it's the leg is now tapered, and I want you to see what you get out of it. You get 3 wedges. There's 2. And there's 3. These are kind of cool wedges. I used to save them. Figuring I could use them as shims or something, but ended up with so many of them. Here's the concept. The corner block's going to sit in the corner, and the leg will sit like this, and then this bolt here would be through there like that and screwed into the leg. Now there's an alignment issue. We're going to put a hole in this leg that has to be at 45 degrees, and I'll show you how to do that. And this hole here is positioned 1 inch up from the bottom. So let's test that theory. I'll put a pencil through there. measure that distance. 1 and 1/16, so I think we're okay. Okay, I've got my little mark there that's an inch down from the bottom. Now I take my little 45-degree angle block here. Position my drill bit right over that hole, right over that mark. And I know that my drill bit's coming in at 45 degrees. Well, I realized you couldn't hear me over there when I was at the drill press because of my little speaker. I didn't have my little remote speaker, but okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some sanding, and after we get the sanding done, we'll do some assembly. Well, here's our whole disassembled table. What I'm going to do is, I already got it sanded off. What I'll do now is put some stain on it, and then once the stain dries, we'll go ahead and do some assembly. Now they call this antique white stain that dries in an hour. How many of you believe that? I don't know anything about it, but we're going to give it a try. When I said a tight fit, I wasn't kidding, was I? Now I just got to go around and put the pocket hole screws in. See, all the preparation stuff we did makes the assembly real simple. Here's a pretty cool little tool. It's a 90-degree bend. See, I can't get my drill in there. Got this little tool here. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, now we can take the jig off. Should just slide off. I used to save these jigs, but not so much anymore. There we go, there's our frame. So there's our frame. But now, what we got to do is, remember we put our holes in there. Now we have to attach our legs. just like that. And we'll do that, if I can find them. We got to attach our hanger bolts to our legs. I usually just take maybe everybody does this, but I usually just take a pair of pliers or lock grip, vice grips, clamp it around here and then just put it on that way. But I think technically you're supposed to use a jam nut, take two nuts and screw them together and then put it in that way. And then you check and see if all your measurements were right. Just we can flip it over. Well, there's our little table for Memphis Monday 243. Kind of unpretentious. Nothing gaudy about it. Nothing artificial. It's kind of an honest design. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 243, the 5th year, 35th week. Today we built this nice little end table, stained it white. It's all made out of pine. If the video seemed a little chopped up and sections missing, it's because I'm having more sound troubles. But you know, when we first started, I had this little microphone in my pocket and it was scraping and making all kinds of noise. So I decided just to put it wherever I was talking, but then I'd forget it. And so, well, anyway, I think our project turned out all right. I think you don't have to taper those legs. Like if you just want to build a little table like this, you could do it with hand tools real easy. I showed you how to make, you know, a simple table like this. You don't even need the table jig. You could do it without it, but I always use a table jig. All right, so like and favorite and share and all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.